Long gone are the days when people had to be interned for presenting psychosis traits. Today, many times, a mix of psychotherapy and drugs is necessary. Unfortunately, for people with developmental disabilities, it's a whole different story. Studies of psychosis, including hallucinations for people with developmental disabilities, have received little attention over the years. So advocates must make an even greater effort to become masters at spotting and dealing with hallucinations to provide quality support. That's why we'll go over 3 simple tips advocates can leverage to help people with developmental disabilities handle hallucinations. Use context. As we mentioned before, hallucinations in people with developmental disabilities may be hard to spot, even for experts. But don't lose hope. To identify it, you can compare the individual's past and present behavior and support your hypothesis with other people who might know him well. Family members and doctors are the best places to start. Simply put, you want to make sure what you're seeing is new or abnormal for him. Many people make a mistake in diagnosing a person with developmental disabilities armed with a long checklist. That right there is a recipe for disaster. What advocates should do instead is to interpret the observations only under the context of the individual's past symptoms and experiences. Understand common symptoms. Okay, now you know how to evaluate that something is wrong. Let's now discover some common symptoms that can indicate a possible sign of hallucinations. After all, nobody can talk about what they can't see. Unfortunately, there are more symptoms of hallucinations than we could address in this video. So that's why we will go over the most common 3. Staring at or hearing things others are not experiencing. A word of alert here is that if a person seems to be totally in control of the activity or is using it to avoid duties or tasks, this could be a false sign. Shadowboxing with unseen others. This is another classic scenario. If your client looks like he is fighting alone, he could be hallucinating. However, take the proper precautions not to confuse hallucinations with playing. Brushing unseen material from himself. Hallucinations have always been represented in movies, either visually or with sound. But did you know that tactile hallucinations existed too? Consequently, if you see your client brushing unseen objects away from him or something similar, he could be under the influence of a hallucination as well. Identify the trigger. Okay, now you know how to identify if something is wrong with your client and understand the 3 most common scenarios that could indicate he's under a hallucination. What comes next? Now you can learn how to help your client deal with it. And to do that, there's nothing more powerful than identifying the trigger. The best first step you can take towards helping the person you advocate for with hallucinations is to look around you to make sure you can figure an external motivation for his hallucinations and eliminate it. Some things could be simple things like curtains, mirrors, or TVs. Others could be as complicated as the secondary effects of medications. Now you're more capable of supporting anyone with hallucinations. But before we wrap up, remember, people who experience hallucinations have difficulty interpreting their surroundings. So, be patient if after removing possible triggers of the hallucination, and if it persists, remain calm and make sure to alert a doctor as soon as you can. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with all the people you know who may need to know more about the subject. And remember, First Choice Family Services is your information resource for the DSP industry.